So let's get started. Good morning, Woodland Pond. I'm Deborah, and we're going to spend some time doing yoga together. So let's all get started in our favorite starting position. You can sit in a chair. If you're going to sit in the chair, please move your butt forward so that you're not leaning against the back of your chair. Put your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart, looking like the number 11. If you're sitting on the floor, you can sit cross-legged, lotus, half lotus, whatever, or standing. So let's roll our pelvis forward so we come up onto our sits bones. Pull your abs in and up as we lift our breastbone. Ask your shoulders to go back and down, and then lift the back of your head. So let's close our eyes for a few seconds and take inventory. How are we doing today? How's our breathing? How are our kidneys? How are our joints? How's our mood? Then opening our eyes, we can extend our arms, palms up, inhale up. And then 2 fountain breaths. Try to keep your elbows together as much as you can. Good, excellent. Let go of that. And let's say good morning to our shoulders. Take one of your arms and make the largest forward circle that you're capable of making. And then reverse it. Good morning, shoulder. Time to wake up and get moving. Good, release that and say good morning to your other shoulder. Once again, you're making the largest forward circle you're capable of making. And if you have injuries or arthritis, you might find that this is more limited, and then reverse it. Good. Everything let go, take a deep breath. And let's start with a few cat and cow stretches. So your head comes forward and down, your belly is going backwards as you exhale down. As you begin to inhale, lift your breastbone, look up. Exhale down. And just go back and forth at your own pace, coordinating your breathing with your motion. Lovely. All right. When you've had enough of that, just come back to center. Let's see. Let's take our hands and we're going to put them into the pulling position. So we're making our hands into little hooks. Put your little hooks together and pull your hands and breathe. A good sustained effort. You're really working here. Good. Release that. Give everything a wiggle. Now we're going into the pushing position. You can put your hands into prayer position, or if you have wrist issues, feel free to put your knuckles together and push. A good hard push, either your palms or your knuckles, whichever works for you, and breathe. Good. Release that. Let's go back into the pulling position. You can either make your little hooks or you can grip your opposite wrist and pull. Good. Release that. Let that go. We're going to go back into the pushing position and push. Really use those muscles working against each other. Excellent. Let that go. Give everything a nice loosening up. Take a deep breath. All righty. So let's turn and look over our right shoulder. Come back to center. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Good. All righty. So let's bring our arms straight out from our shoulders, left and right. Bend your elbows and allow one hand to come down and then the other. The challenge to this posture is keeping your elbows up at shoulder level. So once you get the hang of this, if you want, you can have both hands in motion simultaneously. It's up to you. Or you can do one at a time. The trick is to keep your focus on those elbows. Good. Release that. Give them a wiggle. Take a deep breath. Let that work and effort go. Alrighty, so let's do some exaggerated chewing. We want our entire face to get involved in this activity. So eyes, nose, lips, everything gets involved. Pucker up. Open wide. Chew on the left. Chew on the right. Make your chin go in a circle. Go backwards. Look up, pull your lower lip over your upper lip. And then release it, come back to center. And just notice how your face feels. It should feel pretty stimulated by now. Good, take a nice deep breath. Let's check in with our posture again. Make sure your breastbone is still lifted, your abs are still engaged. And let's do the infinity sign. Use your nose as a pointer and draw the infinity symbol using your nose. Stop and go backwards. And listen to all the funny noises your neck is making. As long as it doesn't hurt, that's fine. Good. All righty, come back to center. Make sure your breastbone is still lifted and allow your chin to approach your chest, but don't let your breastbone sink. When your chin stops moving, just breathe encouragement into the big muscles across the back of your shoulders and be patient. Sooner or later, your chin will go a little bit lower. May not be much, but that's all right. Now let's roll our right ear to the right. We're looking at the wall, not the floor, and our right ear is looking at our right shoulder. And we can feel the stretch beginning to develop along the left side of our neck. Breathe into it. And now we can nod a slow yes. When you're ready, roll your chin to the middle and over to the left. Now you're still looking at the wall, but your left ear is looking at your left shoulder. And you can feel the stretch developing along the right side of your neck. Breathe into it. And when you're ready, nod a slow yes. Then you can roll your chin to the middle and over to the right, back to the middle and over to the left. A slow and gentle motion. We're strengthening our neck muscles At the same time, we're opening and closing all of those vertebrae and stirring our balance canal fluid. When you've had enough of that, just come back to center, lift your head, take a breath. Good. Give everything a loosening wiggle. We're going to do the seated spinal twist. So if you're sitting in a chair, don't do anything with your lower body. It's fine where it is. If you're sitting on the floor like me, stretch your legs out, then it's right leg over left, left arm to right knee. Everybody sit up straight, pivot to your right. Use your hands as needed on the floor or the chair so that you have a nice straight spine, beautifully vertical. Your abs are still engaged. Your breastbone is lifted and you're breathing. So we're warmed up enough. Let's twist back a little bit deeper and release it. Give everything a wiggle, take a breath. So now it's left leg over right, right arm to left knee. Once again, we're pivoting to our left. But again, we want a nice vertical spine, a lifted breastbone, engaged abs that are supporting our viscera and our spine. So let's twist back a little bit deeper and release it. Give everything a nice loosening wiggle. It's time for the frog. All righty. So since we have a new person in the room, welcome Eileen, because Eileen used to teach yoga. All righty. So we're going to sit on the forward edge of our chair and separate our knees wide apart. If you're going to do this from a standing position, make sure both feet are on the mat at all times. Now, we're going to rest our hands on our knees. We're going to just leave them there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lean forward so that we stretch our hips. So keep your head and chest up while you lean forward. You simply lean forward as far as your body permits, but eventually your hips are going to say, no, I don't want to go any farther. Thank you very much. And at which point you stop and you breathe encouragement into those nice big hip joints. Let them know that nothing untoward is about to happen. And sooner or later, you will go a little closer to the floor. If you can comfortably put your palms on the floor, go ahead and do that and release your neck. However, if you can only get your fingertips down onto the floor, you are safer keeping your hands on your knees. And I recommend you do that. Breathe into the stretch. Help your hips release the tension and stress that they've been holding on to. The longer you stay here, the more comfortable you'll be. But when you're ready to come out of it, all you have to do is pick up your head and chest first. And there we are. We're upright again. Let's stand up. All righty. So let's shake out our legs. Let them know that it's okay to reorient themselves into their customary posture. We're going to stand in Tadasana. So we want our feet to be hip width apart, parallel, looking like the number 11. If you have any doubts at all about what hip width means for your feet, put your two fists together, put them on the floor between the ball mounds of your feet, and that is your hip width. Now, if you have balance issues, Separate your feet a little wider. Good. All righty. Now, let's sway a little left and right. Feel what that does to the bottom of your feet. Good. Now come back to center. Make sure that your weight is evenly distributed across the bottom of your feet. Pull yourself up through your legs. If you want, you can tuck your pelvis a bit and then pull your abs in and up. As you lift your breastbone, ask your shoulders to go back and down, and then lift the back of your head. This is Tadasana, the mountain posture. Let's all take a nice deep breath. We have maximum lung capacity. Let's use it. We are successfully defying gravity in this posture. Let's bring our arms out, interlace your fingers, and notice which one's on top. Reverse, stretch, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and lift into chest expansion. Feel those nice pectoral muscles as they begin to open. Good. Release it. Bring your arms out again, but this time when you interlace, make sure the other finger's on top. Reverse, stretch, bring your hands behind your back, interlace the weird way, and lift. Good. Release that, shake out your legs. Today is Warrior 2 Day, so we want our chair to be right about there, right in front of us. But I'm not going to do this for the sake of the camera. You'll have to trust me on that one. All right. So to do Warrior 2, we're going to separate our feet comfortably wide apart. Then take your left toes, rotate them to the left 90 degrees, and bend your left knee over your left ankle. Now, if you put your hands on your hips, you'll see that your hips are facing off at some weirdo angle. We want to bring them back to the starting position. Then take your arms left and right out of your shoulders, turn your head to the left, look out over your left arm with a steely gaze as you shoot energy out through your fingertips and breathe. Make sure that your posture is still good. Roll your shoulders down from your ears. Make sure your breastbone is still lifted. Your abs are engaged. If you want to, you can bend your left knee a little bit more and slide a little bit to the left. When you're ready to come out of it, all you have to do is lower your arms, step onto your left foot, shake out your legs, give everything a loosening wiggle, take a breath. Very good. Okay. So we're going to do Warrior 2 again on the other side. So once again, make sure both feet are on your sticky mat for safety's sake. Good. Okay. Turn your right toes to the right, 90 degrees. Bend your right knee over your right ankle. Put your hands on your hips to see where they're facing. In that case, over there, and bring them back to the starting position. Now, bring your arms left and right out of your shoulders. Turn your head to the right and look out over your right hand with a steely gaze. And shoot energy out through your fingertips. Roll your shoulders down from your ears. Make sure your breastbone's still lifted. Your abs are still engaged and you're still breathing. Once again, if you want, you can bend your right knee a little bit more so that you slide a wee bit to the right. Once again, we're defying gravity, but it's considerably more work to do it in this posture than it was in Tadasana. When you're ready to come out of it, simply lower your arms, step onto your right foot, give everything a loosening wiggle, shake out your legs, take a breath. Very good. Okay. It's time for the inversion. We want to get our hearts above our heads. So we're going to lower our heads. So put your feet back into Tadasana, hip width apart, looking like the number 11. When we go down, we're not going to go down like a balloon that is running out of air. We're going to go down with intention. We're going to go down with a flat back. So inhale up, exhale, stretch forward out of your pelvis. Now relax your back and just hang. Check in with your neck. If the top of your head is not pointed at the floor, your neck is not relaxed. Breathe into it. Feel all those muscles as they begin to open. Stretch to the right. Take hold of whatever part of your body you find. It might be ankles, it might be calves or knees or thighs. It doesn't really matter. Just take hold of whatever you have and keep breathing. Come back to center, twist to the left. Take hold of whatever's over there and keep breathing. Then come back to center, put your hands on your thighs, come up to a flat back and stand up. Give everything a loosening wiggle, shake out your legs, take a breath. I think it's time for the side stretches. So we're going to do the half moon. Today, we're going to do the half moon where we keep our pelvis lined up over our feet. So there's no shifting left and right. We're going to stay rigid. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to allow our left arm to travel down our left leg as we bring our right arm up, stretch up, and now lean to your left. Your left hand is traveling down your left leg. You're looking at the wall and you're breathing and you're feeling the huge stretch up and down the right side of your body. When you're ready, come back to center and down you go. Good. All righty. So we're going to do the other side. So this time your right side, your right hand is going to travel down your right side. Bring your left arm up, lean to your right. Your right arm travels down your right leg and you're breathing, but you're looking at the wall, not the floor. When you're ready, come back to center. Give everything a loosening up. Shake out your legs. Take a deep breath. Very nice indeed. Okay, so let's do Bernice's favorite move. So we need our chair for this. So I'm going to bring my chair so that it's on my left hand and I can drop my left hand on it whenever I want. If you don't need the chair, that's nice. You can always put your left hand on your left hip. So I'm going to step forward with my left foot. I've got my left knee bent over my left ankle. My right leg is straight. And now I'm facing the same direction as my left toes. I'm going to bring my right arm up, look up. As I bring my right arm down, I'm straightening my left knee, bending my right knee and bowing over my knee. And then I reverse everything to the starting position. And you simply go back and forth at a slow and gentle pace. You don't have to match my pace. You can use the pace that is comfortable for you. Extra bonus is if you can coordinate your breathing in time to the motion, it will be even more beneficial. When you've had enough of this, you simply bring your arm down, step onto your left foot, give everything a nice little wiggle, take a deep breath. Good. Now we're going to rearrange ourselves so that the chair is on the right, so it's immediately available to my right hand. Stepping forward with my right foot, my right knee is bent over my right ankle. I'm facing the same direction as my right foot. My left leg is straight. My left arm comes up to the ceiling. As it comes down, I'm straightening my right knee, bending my left knee and bowing. And then reversing everything to the starting position. And just as before, we're going back and forth at our own pace. We're stimulating our balance canals. We're stimulating the corpus callosum, which communicates between the two hemispheres of our brain. When you've had enough, bring your left arm down, step onto your right hand, your right foot. Oh, well, brain is not quite awake yet this morning. Take a breath. Very good. Okay. So just stand comfortably, cock one knee, cock the other knee. So you go back and forth. You have a little hip switch going. Good. Bring one arm up and wave to someone who's far, far away. Let your other arm take over the job. Every time we get our arms above our shoulders, it stimulates our heart. Let's do both arms together. Good. Let everything come down, shake out your legs, let them know it's done. Give everything a good loosening wiggle, take a deep breath. Because we have reached the first half hour and we're about to get down on the floor. So if you're one of the many people who is not going to join us down on the floor, I certainly hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Namaste. All right, so floor yogis, we're going to get down into, I tell you what, let's do a nice back stretch. So sit flat on the floor. We're going to sit flat on the floor with our legs stretched out in front of us. And our goal at this moment is simply to lean forward, keeping your head and chest up. We're just warming up our hips. We want all of this stretch right at this moment to come out of our hips. So we're letting them have fair warning that this is what we want. Okay, so that's pretty good warning. Now we can begin to bring our head and shoulders down. Allow your back to round, and you should be able to feel the stretch in your back. Breathe into it. Help the muscles up and down the back of your leg, across your back. As they begin to open, breathe encouragement into them. Let them know that everything's good. Have a little chat with your neck. Most necks think they have to hold the head up all the time, even when it's unnecessary. Now, if you have taken hold of your ankles or your toes, we're going to shift our hand position and move the stretch farther up our back. So interlace your hands behind your head. Let both your elbows and your head drop. And you should feel the stretch moving farther up your back. Breathe into it. Now you can stay as long as you like, but if you're ready to come out of it, simply release your hands to the floor and slowly sit up. Good. Give everything a loosening wiggle. Take a nice deep breath. And if you might like to cock your knees so that they get a little rest too. Alrighty. So today we're going to do the killer stretch. And by killer stretch, I mean, after you separate your feet wide apart, I'm going to bring my left knee bent, and I'm going to bring my left heel into the midline of my body. So the midline of my body is defined by my nose, my chin, my breastbone, my navel. Okay, there we go. So in order to get that heel in close, you'll really have to rotate your foot so that the top of the outside of your foot rolls onto the floor. Okay, keep your right toes facing the ceiling. And now see if you can bring your left shoulder as well as your right shoulder to face your right foot and lean forward towards your right knee. If you're really limber, towards your right foot. But this really is a killer stretch because you're getting a tremendous stretch from your quadriceps. You're getting a stretch in your groin, as well as your back, and you're breathing into everything. And finally, after everything gets acknowledged, release your neck, let your head come down wherever that means. Keep breathing. When you're ready to come out of it, simply walk your hands closer to you. Let your left foot unbend, then cock both knees so they get a little relief. Take a breath and let that stretch go. That's quite a stretch, really intense. All right, so of course we're going to do the other side. So this time we're going to bring our right foot into the midline of our body so that the heel is lined up with the midline. You're rolling your right foot toward the floor. Good. All righty. So now do your best to face your left toes. Make sure your right shoulder stays in the race to get to your foot. I'm not going to get to my foot, but I want to make an effort in that direction. Breathe into all the stretching muscles and tendons. Give them encouragement. And then finally, begin to lower your head. When you're ready to come out of it, simply bring your hands to the floor, walk backwards towards yourself. Let your right leg unpretzel, bend both knees, lean forward, let everything go, and take a deep breath. Very nice. Okay, it's time for downward facing dog. So we need to get into tabletop. Although since I'm talking about the measurement, if you sit back on your heels, you can also measure out for a downward facing dog. When you're sitting back on your heels like this, you stretch your arms forward with your forehead on the floor. Now we're ready to lift our butt, curl your toes under, push your butt up to the ceiling, and then push your shoulders back towards your knees. And this is another perfectly fine way to measure out for downward facing dog. You might find that you prefer this technique, which is fine. Use it whenever you want. Make sure that you're looking at your feet, not your hands, because if you're looking at your hands, you're holding up your head. We want your neck to be relaxed. And of course, we want you breathing. Keep your elbows straight, keep your knees straight. Now, of course, you can stay as long as you like, but if you're ready to come out of it, simply touch your knees to the floor, sit back on your heels, rest your forehead on the floor, and put your hands back by your feet. Now, some people are very, very tight, and they can't get their butt down to their feet, in which case you may be much more comfortable if you stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your forehead there. Alternatively, you can always roll over onto your back and pull your knees up onto your chest, which is, of course, the default position for people with knee and sinus issues as well, but that's okay. You can use it too. Good. All righty. So we're going to come up and then sit on your right cheek. If you're sitting on your right cheek, you have enough space under your left cheek for your right foot. So that's where you want your right foot to be, under your left cheek. And then your left foot is out here. Now you'll notice that I have my right hand flat on the mat. If you have wrist issues, you're not going to like this. You're much better off if you come down onto your elbow. Good. So what we want to do is we're going to bring our left arm across our body and reach up. And as we do that, we're going to come up onto our knees. So it looks like this. And then come back down to the floor. Go up onto your knees and then come back onto your butt. And you just go back and forth. You don't have to do this quickly. You can do this slowly. But this is a terrific exercise for all of the core muscles in and around your pelvic region. Good. All right, when you're done with that, we're simply going to shift our legs around. So now we're sitting on our left cheek, which means we have plenty of room under our right cheek for our left foot. And then the right foot's out there. All right. Once again, if you have wrist issues, go right down onto your elbow. Your left hand is otherwise flat on the floor. As you bring your right arm across your body, come up onto your knees, and then back down. Once again, you're doing this at your own pace. You don't have to match me. And there we are. We're done. Bring your legs out in front of you. Lean forward. Let everything relax. Take a nice deep breath. We're about to do, I've forgotten, thread the needle. There we go. So in order to do that, we have to get into tabletop. So once we get into tabletop, what we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand and we're going to point it at the ceiling and look at it. Bring your left hand behind your right hand and reach through as far as you possibly can. And you have to set the left side of your head on the floor. And there we are. This is thread the needle. However, if you would like, you can leave your right hand where it is. You can walk it out in front of you, or you can point it at the ceiling and look at it. Breathe into it. We are giving your upper back an excellent twist, very similar to what happens to your lower back when we do the seated spinal twist. Breathe into it. When you're ready to come out of it, you simply bring your right hand to the mat and push. You come right back into tabletop. Good. So this time, take your right arm up to the ceiling, bring it behind your left hand, put the right side of your head on the mat next to your left hand, reach through as much as you can, and decide where you'd like to park your left hand. Once you get to where you want to be, breathe into it. And of course, you can stay as long as you like. However, if you're ready to come out of it, put your left hand on the mat and push. And there we are. Good. So let's bring our legs around so that we can lay down on our backs. Bring your knees up onto your chest, give them a hug. Take a couple of nice deep breaths and feel your back as it reorganizes itself into its customary position. So let's bring our hands down to the mat and draw a circle on the ceiling with your knees together. and feel the lovely massage this provides your lower back. Reverse it. Good. Put your feet on the floor. Put your right ankle on your left knee. Put your right hand on your right knee and push it away. Let it rebound, etc. Now, take your right hand between your thighs. Take your left hand outside your left thigh. Pick up your left thigh, even though you still have your right ankle on your left knee. And there we are. This is the half pigeon. Now, you should be feeling a massive stretch in your right cheek, but if you're not, there are a couple of things you can do. You can pull your thigh closer to your face. You can roll a little bit to your left, or you can extend your left leg to the ceiling. Use any one or combination of those adjustments so that you can get a really fine stretch in your right cheek. And breathe into it. Even though your arms are working, see if you can relax the muscles of your lower body. Stay as long as you like, but if you're ready to come out of it, simply release your hands and allow your left foot to come to the mat, then your right foot. Now put your left ankle on your right knee. Put your left hand on your left knee and push it away. Let it rebound, etc. All right. Take your left hand between your thighs. Take your right hand outside your right thigh, pick it up, interlace your hands behind your right thigh, and there we are. And again, if you're not getting sufficient stretch in your left gluteus maximus, you can use those 3 little adjustments to give you exactly the amount of stretch that you want. And again, despite the fact that your arms are working, see if you can relax your lower body muscles. If you're ready to come out of it, simply ease your hands apart, let your right foot come to the mat, and then your left foot. Take a nice deep breath and let your knees sway a little bit left and right. All righty. So now keep your legs together. Bring your knees up onto your chest. Extend your legs straight up to the ceiling so that your knees are nice and straight. and draw a small circle on the ceiling using your legs, keeping them together just like this. Reverse it. Separate your feet wide apart. Bring your arms through your legs. Keep breathing. Put your hands on the mat. Bring your legs together. Bend your knees. Put your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. That is excellent ab work. It's really nice because it's a very short amount of time, and yet it's pretty concentrated effort. So it's time for deep relaxation. So if you need socks, sweaters, blankets, pillows, cushions, anything that you might need to stay warm and comfortable while we rest, this is the time to acquire them and put them on. And then we're going to arrange ourselves on the floor in the world's most comfortable position. It could be the classic corpse pose. It might be with your lower legs supported in a chair. It might be in the fetal position on one side. When you arrange yourself in your position, be sure to close your eyes, take a couple of nice deep breaths, and focus your attention on releasing your muscles from achievement mode into relaxed mode. Check in with your forehead. Make sure their forehead muscles are relaxed. Check in with the muscles around your eyes. Let your eyes relax and sink more deeply into your head. Check in with your mouth. If your teeth are touching, you need to relax your jaw sufficiently so that your teeth are slightly apart, even though your lips are still together. And just proceed that way throughout your body, helping your body let go of the work and effort of the preceding hour. So now it's time to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, make any motions which might help you loosen up a bit. And then roll to one side to come up to a seated position. Once we get nice and vertical, we'll put our hands together in prayer position, close our eyes, lower our heads, and give thanks for this day. Then raising our heads and opening our eyes, we can look at one another and say, Namaste. 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 I hope you have a great weekend. It might be good. And then I'll see you back here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Live Monday and Friday, tape Wednesday. See you then.